Ninib as an Assyrian war god. Such a deity as Ninib, another name for Ningur-Su, the god of Lagash, and therefore the god of the vultures of Lagash. Ningur-Su, Ninib, was certain to find favor among the Assyrians by virtues of those characteristics which would render him as a valuable ally in war. We find several kings extolling to his prowess as a warrior, notably Tiglath-Pileser I, whose name means "My trust is in the god Ashur." And of course, those who went into exile now realize that they will be in eternal bondage. Sounds kinky, but I'll give it a miss. To the steel of vultures, and therefore Marduk, and the lion curse of Anzu. Popper has a brand new bag for those who are naughty, and this god's number is 0. Naughty, naughty, very naughty. Ninib's prowess as a warrior, extolled by Pileser I, and of course Rishi Sunak, Ashur-Rishishi, who allude to Ninib as the courageous one and the mighty one of the gods. In Sumerian Akkadian, one also means curse, one, desire, wish, curse, wolf, spider. This would be the desire of the gods. His old status as a sun and wind god, in which he was regarded as overthrowing and leveling with the ground everything which stood in his path. Would that be leveling up, I wonder? This side of his character would supply him with the reputation necessary for a god of battle. He is associated with Ashur, the curse of the wolf, in this capacity. And Tiglath-Pileser, my trust is in the god Ashur. Those who went into exile now realize they will be in eternal bondage, holds them as those who will fulfill his desire. We are told, but do we listen? Your eyes do not deceive you. They are those who fulfill his curse. But Ninib's chief votary was Ashur-Nezir-Pal in 860 BC, who commenced his annals with a paean, a creation of praise, in honor of Ninib, which so abounds in fulsome eulogy that either he must have felt much beholden to the god, or else have suffered from religious mania. The epithets he employs in praise of Ninib are those usually lavished upon the greatest of gods only. This proceeding secured immense popularity for Ninib and gave him a social and political vogue which nothing else could have given. And we find Shamsi-Raman, the grandson of Ashur-Nezir-Pal, employing the same self-titles when honoring Ninib. The great temple of Ninib was situated in Kala, the official residence of Ashur-nazir-pal, and within its walls, that monarch placed a tablet recording his deeds and a great statue of the god. He further endowed his cult so that it might enjoy continuance. We can readily understand how the especial favor shown to such a god as Ninib by an Assyrian monarch originated. Ashur would be regarded by them as much too popular and national a deity to choose as a personal patron. Publicly, Tiglath-Pileser is worshipping Ninib, but his name states his trust is in the god Ashur, and the reason would be the alternative meaning. And I agree, it is to fulfill his desire. But more difficult to comprehend are the precise reasons which actuated, caused, motivated the Assyrian kings, or indeed the kings of any similar ancient site, in choosing their patrons. Does a polytheistic condition of religion permit the fine selection of patron deities? Or is it not much more probable that the artful officers of ecclesiastical and political wire pullers had much to do with moulding the preferences for the king before and after he reached the throne? The education of the monarch, while yet a prince, would almost certainly be entrusted to a high ecclesiastical dignitary. That would be the Ashipu. And though many examples to the contrary exist, we are pretty safe in assuming that whatever the complexion of the tutor's mind, that of the pupil would, to some extent, reflect it. On the other hand, there is no resisting the conclusion that the Assyrian kings were often vulgar parthenos, ostentatious and impossible, such as people usually are, and that, after the manner of their kind, they doted upon everything ancient, and possibly everything Babylonian, just as the later Romans praised everything Greek. Reminding me of Alexander the Great, transferring the Babylonian script into the Greek Septuagint. Therefore everything Greek praises everything in Babylonia. Now we are redirected back to the desire. Ninib as a hunter god, but Ninib ministered to the amusement of his royal devotees, as well as to their warlike desires. We find Ashur-nazir-pal invoking Ninib before commencing a long journey in search of sport, and Tiglath-Pileser, who was a doughty hunter of lions and elephants, ascribes his success to Ninib, Ningersu. This is belomancy, divination using rods or arrows, in order to gain direction from the god Bel, aka Bel-Marduk, who has placed his mighty bow in his hands. This would mean that the symbolism of the bow held by the Assyrian kings represents Mulban, the bow star from heaven, the origin of the Anzu bird, aka the constellation of Marduk. Jensen, in his Cosmology, points out that Ninib represents the eastern sun and the morning sun. If this is so, it is strange to find a god representing the son of morning in the status of a war god. It is usually when the sun god reaches the zenith of the heavens, that he slays his thousands and tens of thousands. He would of course be identified with Tammuz, the lesser spirit, the dying and rising god, a type of phoenix, as his consort was Gula, to whom Ashur-nezir-pal erected an Inanna, a sanctuary. For the Gula, an anagram of the Gala demons, who are stood beside Dumuzi, the child weapon.